Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or massages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Energies. Up, Big Cat. I insist. Why did I say energies up? Because bestie, oi! We're under what spiritual attack? This is spiritual warfare that's going on, darling dears. And remember, I've been trying to listen, I've done everything but twerk to let you know how important this total solar eclipse is going to be on the 8th of April 2024. I've made 2 videos. I even put up a video yesterday telling you what they, them and um's going to be doing on that day. It's very important, darling dears. Very important. We'll just quickly run through a few things that I wanted to highlight. Right, as you know, drop down and get your eagle on. Right, here we have it. Where's my shiznite? These progenies come in and touch my things, darling dears. Right. The total solar eclipse in Aries on the 8th of April 2024. Right. It is on this particular eclipse only happens once every 400 years. What was going on in your country 400 years ago, darling dears? That's why Google is your friend. I keep telling you, bestie. Right. On this same day, CERN, you know CERN, that's got the most powerful hadron collider in the world, darling dears. They've decided to fire it up and look for dark matter on the 8th of April. What else is going on here? The National Guard is going to be active. They said they're just going to be hanging around, right? They're recalling all of their guards, men and women, darling dears. The retirees are coming to help them out. FEMA has distributed leaflets on how to get past this particular eclipse, darling dears. Yes, they have. NASA will be firing 3 rockets into the new moon solar eclipse in Aries. Why are they doing that? They said to test the permeable atmosphere, to test the atmosphere, blood. Yeah, that's what they said. What else is going on that day? Well, I can tell you that the new moon solar eclipse is going to start at 7:55 p.m. in the UK, right? That's Hinglon, where I am, right? And it will finish at 8:04 p.m. in Hinglon, where I am. Bestie, I tell you all the time, I will give you the peccadillos, darling dears, but you have to find out where it is in your area. What am I going to be doing at this solar eclipse? I'll be praying, blood. I will be praying. My feet will be bare. I'll make sure that 3 days before that, I will be fasting, darling dears. If you can't manage the 3-day fast, darling dears, you can fast up to either 7 hours, 16 hours, or 25 hours before the total solar eclipse. We're only getting it partial in the UK, but you in the US of A, you're getting the full brunt of it, darling dears. And remember, where is NASA? In the US of A. This is just for educational purposes. This is all alleged, right? It's not true. It's alleged. Educational purposes only. All right. Now you know what's going on, right? You can do what you want to do. This is just for educational purposes. Let's carry on with the read, darling dears. Yes, baby. The spiritual warfare, darling dears. It was for you to trust in the detours and redirections you've been experiencing in your life, darling dears. You have to remember, sometimes when people know that they've treated you badly, darling dears, that they've been skullduggerous with how they mishandled a big cat, those people will avoid you. Those are the best ones, the ones that know how to what? Take the love and light and the initiative and do a forward roll into the mumma. Okay. The next one I wanted to say, the only way to win against the manipulators that didn't take the hint and do the forward roll into their mumma, they want you to play the game, darling dears. But they want you to react to whatever manipulations they've got going on. Remember, it's not your monkeys and it's not your circus, yeah? Okay then. All right. Let's press on to the next point I'm about to make. You've got to let people do what they want to do, darling dears. Let them do what they want to do, right? Because then you'll be able to see what they would rather do. Yeah, and it will answer all questions that you wanted answered. People are going to be disappointed, right, by certain actions that you take with your life, darling dears. Better they be disappointed than you disappoint yourself. Remember what Eleanor Roosevelt said. We've got to go so far, we can't hear the critiques, darling dears. And where are we going? Into the unknown, blood. The Most High Father, God, Mother Isis removed you from certain tables so that the host at these tables could stop poisoning you, dampening down your light, because you are a chosen one, darling dears. Remember, if we all call our ancestors to cover us, it's going to be a bit like when they had oh my gosh, when Moses told them they had to put the blood on their doors so that they would be passed over. This is you covering your lineage, darling dears, with the fasting and praying at the time of the eclipse, because I'm telling you, something serious is going down, Bobby Brown. But you are chosen. You are lightworker starseed. You didn't meet me by chance. But remember, I will give you the intel, but you have to become the keyboard gangster for yourself. I'm teaching you how to fish, darling dears, so it will last you a lifetime. It will what? Buoy up your lineage, darling dears. Boss up your lifeline, and what? Create generational wealth going forward. But you have free will to do what you want to do, darling dears. But like I said, I told you what's going to be going on with me around this solar eclipse in Aries, which hasn't happened for what? 400 years. What? Listen. There's so many questions that can be asked from that particular occurrence, darling dears. Why? Don't worry about the why. Worry about what you're going to be doing on that day, darling dears. What energies you're going to be carrying. Remember, you have to be drama free. If you can get yourself to a body of water, I would tell you to put your feet in that water. If not, ground yourself, darling dears. Go into nature, hug a tree, take some time to meditate. Listen to your higher mind, darling dears. Get closer to the Most High Father, God, Mother Isis. All of these traumas and these restrictions that's been put on your life was meant to wake you up. So wake up, bestie. Wake up. Oh, you forgot I had the whip. Ha ha. That's like I like to pull it out when you're not expecting it. Right. Let's carry on with the read, because this is spiritual warfare, darling dears. Listen, if I want to get something investigated, I go on TikTok, blood. The same TikTok that they're trying to ban, but they don't want to ban it. They want the person that owns it to sell it to them so that they can regulate what we see. Are we children? Are we not allowed to make our own choice from the information that we take in? But this is just for educational purposes. Let's carry on with the read. This is the Lo Shu grid. It's Chinese numerology. Look it up, darling dears. There's so much intel you can get from this. I told you, I come in with what? I come in with signs, signals, wonders, darling dears, and words that pique your curiosity for you to find out what's going on so we can be on the same page together. The big cat. You're on the number 3, darling dears. This is the element of air, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. This is about your intellect, darling dears. Okay, about your intellect. You also have the number 4, which we're going to put to one side for the minute as we discuss the energy of the 3 on the low shoe grid. It's about your community, your family. It's about your support system. I'm your support, darling dears. I am. We're besties. Friends to the end, but not like Chucky, darling dears. There's no killation indicated or wanted, darling dears. Unless it's murdering the soul ties to the wickedness. Yes, yes, yes. Not the people, darling dears. Just the soul tie. We can't afford to go to prison like R. Kelly. We have to be free to sock it to them. And you have to ask yourself, why now are they putting all these things in our way? About Diddy, right? We know he did it, right? We've known this for a long time, okay? Look what they've done. They've taken out a bridge. Yeah, the bridge that is going to bring much needed supplies to all of them areas. Listen, I give you peccadillos, it's for you to go and see. But that's not the only bridge. There's another bridge in the US of A that they said spontaneously combusted. Spontaneously combusted, right? There's another ship that took out these cranes on another port. Listen, it's for you to go and find out, darling dears. I will pique your curiosity, but you have to go and find it out. It's not for me to give you all of the intel. Use your own fingers and become the keyboard gangster at your own domicile, darling dears. Right, as I was saying, the energy of the 3. It's represented by springtime. We are in the spring, darling dears. Are we not? Is the solar eclipse not in the spring? In Aries, the first house. The first house of what? Outward behavior, darling dears. It's also the house of self-awareness, right? It's also about your health, your appearance. Is about your vitality, darling dears. But the first house is also about accidents. Are they trying to make an accident? Listen, baby. Oi. Let me press on. The energy of the 3, according to the low shoe grid, darling dears, it's about you allowing your creativity and your ideas to shine, darling dears. Don't allow yourself to be silenced. The negative side of this is to guard against scattered energy and impulsiveness, darling dears. Listen to that quiet voice inside. Don't do impulsive things that will have you in prison like R. Kelly, darling dears. You call your ancestors, which you must do around the solar eclipse in Aries. Call them. You have 64. I've already explained why it's 64. Many times, darling dears, many times. And if you've been rocking with me for some time, you can feel me. Blood, brah, or sistrine. Right. It's a time where you have to what? Hold your gangster. Proverbs 29:11. Big cat. Remember, the energy of the 3 is about what? It's about groups. It's about growth. It's about your authenticity, but still being able to express yourself in an authentic way. The energy of the 3, according to numerology, is rules Pisces as well as Sagittarius energy, darling dears. In tarot, the number 3 is ruled by the Empress, the Hangman, and the World. The Empress is about abundance. That's Earth and Venus energy. The Hangman is water and Neptune energy, darling dears. Right? For what? A different perspective. Being freed from a prison, darling dears. Yes, it is. And as I said, it's also ruled by the World card. World card means what? Ending of one cycle in order for a new one to begin. As we what? We are up and running in the age of Aquarius. Remember, I told you that. I've put up a read for the new moon solar eclipse in Aries. I've also done the Mercury retrograde in Aries. And I've also put up the read for Pluto in Aquarius, right? Which is going to be valid for the next 19 years. So go toddle on over to those vids, darling dears. They will give you the what? The tools according to your sun, moon, and rising sign of what is available to you. I don't do my astrology the way other people do it, darling dears. I give you the energies. What you choose to do with those energies and how you allow it to manifest in your life is your free will. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to have a car accident or you're going to get this or you're going to get... No, blood. Everybody has a different trajectory. I will tell you what energies are around. It's up to you how you use the energies or not use them. You have free will. All right. I'm not telling you off. I'm still your friend. I know, bestie. Right. Let's break down the energy of this 4. Okay. The energy of the 1 is that a major decision has to be made. When we see a 1 come up, darling dears, this major decision cannot be made for yourself until after the next new moon. Didn't I just tell you the next new moon is in Aries on the 8th of April 2024? Very important date. The 3 is what? Confusion, darling dears. There's a lot of confusing energy that's being put out there, darling dears. But remember, you have a major decision to make. Right? But you have to do the what? The cleansing of your body, your temple, leading up to that time. It's very important. You have to remember, we are the Obi-Wan Kenobis for those that are still asleep, darling dears. And I come for every big cat. No big cat gets left behind. I will repeat the information until you're sick of me, blood. Yeah. And I'm not sorry. Okay, then. So a lot of confusing energy is going to be put out there, a lot of confusing information. But the things that I've just told you, you can research them and find them out for yourself. Why does CERN want to activate its Hadron Collider, right, to look for dark matter on that date? A particular day where it's a full-on solar eclipse across the USA, darling dears, right? What are they doing? Opening portals, gateways. And then they also said that you're going to be seeing people on the street with something that looks like, what do they call it? Demon syndrome? Where they're going to have the face of a demon. Good God, you're supposed to see that as normal. Listen, baby. They better tell it to the wind. Ah, ah, tell it to the wind. Listen, baby, what do you mean? Demons are going to be walking amongst us. 400 years ago, let's see, what was happening? Slavery began. They're trying to stop something from occurring, darling dears, because their rule of the 1,000 years is over. Why would FEMA be offering people help, darling dears? Why? FEMA, who's got the coffins that can fit up to what? 6 bodies at a time. I don't know. Like I said, this is just for information purposes. I'm a curious cat, darling dears. I found out a lot of things because I spend my time reading and making lists. Listy zizzes. You need the whole armor of God, darling dears. Psalms 91:1. We need the what? The belt of truth, the shield of faith, the sword of spirit, right? The breastplate of righteousness, our helmet of salvation, and our feet shod in the gospel, darling dears. Listen, I'm not telling you off, darling dears, but good God. Okay, the energy of the 4, darling dears, is also includes the energy of what? 22, which is a master number. It tells me that you are a builder, darling dears, as well as a problem solver. And what? Divine has put you in a position to play the long game. It speaks about you being an extremely emotional cat. I'm extremely emotional, darling dears. I am. But I don't allow those emotions to control me. It also tells us, the master number, that you are motivated at this moment in time. The number 4, it could be your birthday, a significant number, date in your life, darling dear. So it could also be your life path number. Your birthday could be, or the number could be the 4, 13, 22, or 31. The number 4 is associated with the letters D, M, and V. The number 4 is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the planet of sudden change. Uranus rules Aquarius. Aquarius is what? About groups, darling dears. Sudden changes that are coming, darling dears, that someone is trying to avert. Hold on. Uranus is represented by the letters DMT, right? And we've got DMT and DMV, darling dears. The element of the 4 is ruled by the astrological aspect of a square, darling dears, which is conflict. It's frustrating, but it's extremely powerful. It's an impasse that brings about constructive change, darling dears. Okay. The energy of the 4, darling dears, the 1-4. It's about what? Troubles, darling dears, and debts, karmic debts that must be paid. All right. The energy of the 4 also says that you are about to assume a position of leadership, darling dears. I know, because when we're on our awakening journey, I tried to wake up people around me. They laughed at me and talked about me in 2s and 3s, darling dears. When I was talking amongst family members, they deliberately talk over me. They tried to laugh at me and all of these things, but yet I'm the only one that has my finger on the button. And they can't come with me, even though they spy on my channel on a regular basis trying to garner information. Yes. It's not going to help them. Why? I was chosen as the light in my lineage to free them from all of the dysfunction. And what did they do? So if you're spying, you can continue to spy, but do it silently. Anything that you try to copy, darling dears, especially if you wronged me when I tried to help you, hey, that's your business, blood. That's your business, right? Let's carry on, darling dears. Let's carry on. Let's press on at this hot trot. Let's get the African Goddess Rising. And can I find it? The Life Lesson deck. To get some intel. What does your ancestors want you to know about this spiritual warfare? What does the ancestors want the big cats to know about the spiritual warfare? That was a lot of cards, but they didn't fall out. Tell us. It's all part of your awakening. What did I tell you, darling dears? Right? And it's about having fearless love. Don't have no fear in the face of truth. We have the element of the 4. Didn't I just tell you that? And we've got the element of the 7. Didn't I say you can be? I'm going to be fasting for 3 days leading up to it. But if you can't manage that, you can do it for 7 hours leading up to when the solar eclipse is going to happen in wherever you are in this hemisphere. Yes, 7 hours, 16 hours, or 25 hours, darling dears. It's all coming out now, darling dears. You are being protected. Okay. All right. Base of the deck. We've got divine what did I say? You are the light, darling dears. You are the chosen one. Please make sure that you share these messages. Like it up, darling dears, so that we can get into the algorithm. I'm going to save as many big cats as I can from what they're trying to put on us during this new moon solar eclipse in Aries. Remember I told you that. You have to be the Obi-Wan Kenobis, darling dears. What is the life lesson deck? Look. The elastic band broke. Ending of a cycle, darling dears. Okay. What else does our ancestral team want us to know? Pregnant with possibility. Yeah. Trust in what you're being told, darling dears. This divination information that I'm giving you, darling dears. It's nutrition for your soul. Maybe some of you have changed your nutrition, right? Yes, you have. You've changed the way you've eaten. It's also about your energies. Your energies, you can't stand to be around certain things, darling dears. Your circle's so small, you're practically hopping on one foot, just like me. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Yes, by myself, blood. I, myself, and me. But sometimes it's just I. Especially when I'm making moves, darling dears. It's just I. Myself and me can't come. Listen to your intuition and your discernment, darling dears. Because I'm about to school you on what's going on with this spiritual warfare. All right. Oh, we need another stand as well, darling dears. Because the energy of the 4, as I said, is ruled by Uranus, the planet of what? Change, darling dears. It's a humanitarian planet, and it also speaks about the rebel and the revolution that's going on around us, darling dears. It's about you tapping into all of these energies and bringing about the change that they're trying to stop. Right, let's get the energy of Uranus. Uranus comes through with genius, darling dears. Love it. The ending of the 9 speaks about fruition, ending of a cycle, darling dears. This is about us surrendering to the process, trusting in the unseen, the unknown, darling dears, and making sure that we are prepared so that whatever is going to pass over this planet, darling dears, that it does not infect our lineage and ourselves. Remember, I told you that. It's a bit like the Passover, what's going on with this new moon solar eclipse in Aries on the 8th of April. Like I said, in the UK, where I am in England, with the English people, right? 7:55 p.m. until 8:04 p.m., darling dears. I will make sure that my if I can't get to a body of water like the sea, the ocean, I'll either go, because there's a fairy glade near to me. I've showed it to you before, right? I'll either be in there putting my feet on the grass, or if it's raining on that day, I will be filling up a bath, darling dears. But you have to make sure that your body is clean before you get into the water, right? And once I get into that water, I will be reading Psalms 91:1, Psalms 121, Psalms 51, Proverbs 31:10, darling dears. Listen, I don't come to play. And if you don't feel that you be able to read all these things, you record it on your phone and let it play as you lay in the water. Make sure that you cleanse yourself before you get in the water, and you put your head under the water and call your ancestors, because you will be protecting yourself and your lineage from what they're trying to put on us as they fire up their Hadron Collider looking for dark matter. Pay attention, darling dears. This is a once in a lifetime, just like Pluto being in Aquarius. It's a generational planet that's not going to come back again until, I think it's till our children's children's children, not for another over 200 years. Everything is a once in a lifetime. You was chosen by your ancestral team, 64 souls, to break the chain, break the cycle, and uplift your lineage. Your divine lineage, darling dears. Energy of the 6 speaks about harmony, the harmony and the teamwork that it took to get you here, darling dears. Right. People listen, whoever keeps emailing me, they email me, right? But I've got an IT person to reverse that email to find out their proper email. Listen, I'm on to you, mate. You're going to be getting a full-on message from me with love and light. What do you mean about I talk too much on this channel? This is not a channel for communicative dance. What's the matter with you? When are you going to get the memo? Base of the deck, darling dears, we will be dancing to the beat of the universe. Some of you may be musicians or artisans, darling dears, or how you do your work is like artistry in motion. Remember, I told you that. You are being protected. And again, the music frequencies, darling dears. Because the 8th of April is going to be a Monday, so the frequency you need to be playing is the 417, darling dears. It's associated with your sacral chakra. Yes, it is, darling. Listen, I come here with the intel. It's up to you what you choose to do with it, darling. Yes, but I told you I'll be rocking it out on that day. What's behind that? There's a season for everything, darling dears, and this is the season where you go gung-ho, darling dears. Protect your lineage, protect yourself with prayer. Call your ancestors. Right, let's get a deck. Gonna use the... Look at this. When we see the 9 of Pentacles on its face, darling dears, this speaks about some form of karmic debt that must be paid. Remember, I told you that. A major debt is going to be paid on the 8th of April, darling dears, but don't be part of the debtees. Be the debtor, the one that's going to be in receipt of what? Divine guidance, divine love, divine protection. Look. That's the second elastic band to break. The duality of it all, darling dears. The duality of it all. The energy of the 2 speaks about patience, darling dears. But it also speaks about your psychic development as well as your intuition. Take time for reflection on that day, darling dears. Don't push yourself too hard. Allow yourself to appreciate the process of what you've overcome and what's coming towards you. It's not going to be a long reading, darling dears. Yeah, because we're about to release many burdens, darling dears. Spiritual burdens that was put on us to keep us in a what? A spiritual entanglement. Messages about the spiritual warfare. Tell us, we're listening. Tell us, we are listening. You're the baddest of them all, darling dears. Nurturing. It also speaks about beauty. You don't look like what you've been through. Many of you may be mothers or fathers, darling dears. But it's about you knowing your worth, knowing what you command, darling dears. And it also speaks about the healing and abundance which is going to be gifted to you after this date. What else? Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people or situations that's going to try and make you miss this particular appointed time, darling dears. You've got to what? Don't drink of them false cups of opium, because why? You are the light, darling dears. You are chosen. Many people are going to be attracted to your energy, especially leading up to the 8th of April. Not everybody's should be allowed to sit at your table. Base of the deck, darling dears. Make sure you choose wisely. When we see water like this, especially choppy water at the back and rocks, it speaks about energies coming towards you that's going to what? Try and take you off your gangster on this day. The energy of the Two of Swords, darling dears, is represented by Libra energy as well as the moon. People that had contract partnerships with you. Libra is the 7th house in astrology, darling dears, the house of contractual partnerships. People that were friends, maybe someone that you was married to, darling dears. But it's also what? The house of open enemies. People that will come and try and project onto you to get you confused. Something to do with a maternal grandmother or a paternal grandfather. Okay. But you have to what? Trust in the process, darling dears. People are going to try and get you to sign to contracts that is going to what? Take you off your gangster. And what? Take you into a place where you will avoid or miss the blessing that is about to be gifted to you. Queen of Swords, you better put your third eye on them bitches and mitches, darling dears. Remember I told you that. Queen of Swords is what? To use logic in a situation. Why? Somebody's coming through, darling dears, to try and betray you. Someone from the past, or someone that you haven't met yet, darling dears, but someone that you're going to be meeting over the next few days. This energy is coming in. Swords is about information to try and take you off your gangster, get you involved in low vibing shiznai. Pay attention, bestie. You are the baddest of them all. Remember I told you that. It looks like she's holding the mic. You need to spread the word. Like I said, thumbs up this video. Get me into the algorithm so we can warn as many big cats as possible. This is a very important once in a lifetime kind of thing going on here, darling dears. And the time is creeping up on us like a cheap lace thong. We ain't got the time to hang around and wonder if or what. No, blood. This is the time for you to prepare yourself to make sure that whatever they're trying to achieve by doing all of these things on that date, that it passes over you and your lineage. You have to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Moon energy. Again, it's about your psychic abilities, darling dears. You already know that this is true words that I'm telling you. Let's move this up here so it doesn't keep getting knocked about. You are stepping into a leadership role. The energy of the moon also speaks about you have many enemies, people looking at you with sending a lot of negative energies your way, darling dears. But guess what? Whatever they're trying to do to you, look, the Libra energy, you can see the scales. Divine is about to pay them back in kind for what they're trying to do to you. Yeah. Listen, you are single and independent, drama free at this moment in time. It also speaks about the green grass that you've created for yourself. Look at the ancestors coming out for you, the temperance energy. You've been on a difficult journey, but the journey is about the lessons in life that you learn, darling dears. Every mistake that is made is a lesson once you've learned it. But it also speaks about the protection and guidance of your ancestral team during this very, very, important time. What's the disappointment of the Four of Cups? Yeah, King of Cups, disappoint them, right? Put your third eye on bitches and mitches, darling dears, trying to take you off your gangster. Remember, you have to allow this energy to pass over. And how are you going to do it? By the fasting, darling dears, praying at that time. Call in your ancestors. Emotional maturity. Yeah, because those blessings will come to you quickly, darling. It also speaks about messages. Many of you need to start paying attention to your dreams. When you wake up, as soon as you start thinking about something else, your dream turns into tissues and you don't get the evidences of it. What's just fell on your thing? Listen, somebody's preying on your downfall, your bad health, darling dears. Yep. Somebody's wishing you dead at this moment in time. They want you stagnant and stuck. But when God say yes, who can say no, darling dears? Your cup will runneth over. Yeah. Look, this incoming is coming in quickly. Knight of Wands means quick, fast movement. Okay. Yeah. Your soul tribe, darling dears. I'm seeking the support of you guys on the 8th of April. Look to see when the solar eclipse is going to happen on your part of the hemisphere. If it's happening during the daytime for you, I would suggest not going to work that day, darling dears. Paying attention to yourself. Paying attention to your progenies if you have them, or your future progenies if you haven't got them yet. Your soul tribe. We have to move as one mind. Clarify this Queen of Swords energy. I'll take up these cards. It's about your intellect, darling dears. Because you're going to have many red herrings that's going to try and take you off your gangster so that you miss the appointed time. Don't allow it to happen. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to show your gangster, darling dears. To show the Most High Father, God, Mother, Isis, that you've been paying attention. That you understand the assignment. Clarify the Queen of Swords. Yeah. Look, because you're going to be given great new opportunities, darling dears. New gifts, darling dears. Remember I told you that. Because you are a natural born healer, darling dears. Your words carry spiritual weight. And remember, all eyes are on you. It's not just the people on this Malkuth. It's all of the different beings from all of the different star systems. Everybody, all of them is watching to see what's going to happen with this planet. But remember, only many were called, but only few are chosen, and you are one of the chosen few, darling dears. What you choose to do on that date will have a great effect on everyone on this Malkuth. So I humbly beseech you to join me in prayer at this time, darling dears, as we call in our ancestors, as we protect the unawakened, darling dears. We haven't got nowhere else to go. We've got to stay on this planet until it's our time. But what they're trying to unleash onto us, what did they say? Demon-faced looking people walking the streets. Are you kidding me? Blood, brah, or sistrine. If that don't make your heart go boom, diddy, boom, I don't know what will. This is spiritual downloads, darling dears, that you're going to be getting in your sleep. You may be from daydreams. It also speaks about this healing. A wonderful healing frequency, darling dears, is come on case, bring it back to the forefront of your cranium. A wonderful healing energy to listen to, as I said, is the 417 frequency, or alternatively, you can listen to Beethoven's Symphony 7, Movement 2, okay? Because it has 3 perfect frequencies for manifesting, healing, releasing regret and grief, darling dears. This is about you preparing yourself by any means necessary for what's coming on the 8th of April, 2024. On that note, I drops me mic. Look, they're telling you to listen to the frequencies, darling dears. Get prepared for what's coming. I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat, cat. Get to it, bestie. You have to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi for your own lineage. Join me in prayer as we call in our ancestors on the 8th of April 2024. Don't let the darkness take us down again. This is a once in a lifetime. We have a minuscule window to turn the tides to those that deserve to rule this planet, darling dears. Why do we have to play to live on a planet that should be free to all? Why do they allow us to buy properties but don't give us the allodial titles? Why is it that when you buy a car, you don't own that car? Baby, let's change things together. Big cat wave. Cat, cat. Cat, cat.
How you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, moving silence. Only time you speak is to say